How's it going YouTube? Raj here, hope you guys are doing well. Today I am back with another video where I'll be talking about two Xerjoff fragrances. I've been wearing a lot of Xerjoff samples and decants recently over the past few weeks. And today I've got one called Fiero from the Casamorati line. The second one is Homme from the XJ1717 line. The names and the timeline are in the description. So let's get into the first one. So this is Fiero. Fiero's top notes, it's described as an aromatic spicy fragrance, definitely agree. Top notes of bergamot, Amalfi lemon, blood orange and lemongrass. Middle notes of neroli, tarragon, thyme and mint. Base notes of vetiver, sandalwood, patchouli, coumarin and nutmeg. So what I get from this feeling, the feeling I get is it's a classic fragrance. Nothing new here really. It's not going to be a groundbreaking fragrance for many people. It's not going to be a mind-blowing fragrance, but what it has is that it's done in a very, very elegant, very refined way. Top quality ingredients are used here. You can tell that from the get-go. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Roger Dub's Scandal Pour Homme. And it's done really nicely. It feels like a very classic Italian fragrance, kind of like the Acqua di Parma's, maybe an Eau Sauvage vibe I get from this fragrance, but done on just a much higher level. It's very enjoyable, very fresh. I get very tart, almost bitter at times, citrus notes like the rind of the lemon and a lime coming together with a kind of floral lavender note in there. It gives a feeling of maybe like a kind of fresh upscale barbershop type vibe. It's just not actually something I've experienced, but it's kind of like a feeling that is evoked from this scent. It does go on to be a little bit more spicy in a kind of green, kind of cinnamony, mild clove way. We've got green leaves and those mild spices. These aren't harsh, these aren't over the top. It's a very well balanced fragrance. You won't really smell anything new here, but what you will smell is something which is done on, I think, just a nice, really higher level. Is it worth the price? That's up to you. This could be one of the finest kind of aromatic fragrances that you come across. It definitely is very nice. It has a kind of mildly smoky, woody dry down. Again, all in line with this kind of Italian, sparkling citrus, aromatic vibe. The base notes of patchouli and cedarwood, sandalwood don't really shout. They just add a nice kind of woody base to this fragrance and rounds it off very nicely. And it's a nice experience. It's a very nice fragrance to wear. I don't know if I would buy this. It does perform quite well. Projection is kind of good, but nothing great. Longevity is good, but nothing great. You're looking at maybe 6 to 8 hours. And that's the style of this fragrance, really. I don't think you're unlikely to get anything more than that. It's a solid fragrance, one that I may add to my collection. Again, with Xerjoff prices, they're at that level where you really have to think twice before you pull the trigger. So, moving on to the next one, and this one is Xerjoff Homme from the XJ1717 line. A very, very pricey line. You're looking at paying in euros about 520 euros for a 100 ml bottle. It's a lot of money. So Homme, notes in here are top notes of bergamot, lime, orange, tangerine and grapefruit. Along with caraway, tarragon and ginger. Middle notes of lavender, Bulgarian rose, ylang-ylang, iris and clove. Base notes of cedar, ambergris, rose, vanilla, vetiver, birch and woody notes, whatever those woody notes are. So this is a very challenging fragrance. I haven't finished my decant. I mean, I'm pretty much more than halfway through. And it's a tough one. It's a leather-based fragrance. There are a lot of notes in this fragrance, but it is predominantly a leather-based fragrance. If you are a fan of in-your-face, harsh, smoky, those types of leathers, fragrances, then this could be your dream come true. It really could be. It's not necessarily a fragrance that I enjoy wearing, and I don't think it's something I would buy, but I can see what they were trying to do here. In the opening, there's a lot of notes mentioned here, a lot of citrus notes, but I'm just going to say what I get from this fragrance basically. I came up with the image of a kind of like a Formula 1 car just at the start of the race, as they all sort of start and the tyres just sort of start rubbing against the tarmac, and its smoke comes up in the air, and it's a kind of burning tyre smell. It's not particularly pleasant. It's not a fragrance that I have received positive feedback. I've received negative feedback on this fragrance, but you know, if you don't care about that, it's not a big deal. It is that kind of in-your-face, rubbery smell. I think there's a fragrance from Bulgari, is it Bulgari Black? Think of that, but just exploded basically. It does settle down, and it turns into a kind of much more smoother, more easy to manage leather. But still, a little bit on the harsh side. I get a kind of boot polish vibe from this, like maybe some army boots that have just been buffed up, and a bunch of polish and some spray has been applied to the boots. Again, it's a nice development, but again, it's not something that I particularly enjoy smelling. But it is good to see what they have done with this kind of leather note and how they've interpreted it and how they've developed it. It is kind of very artistic, but very challenging at the same time. There are some floral notes in here, and there's certainly an iris note in here. Iris and leather is a nice combination, but I think I would go with something maybe like Queer Ottoman from Parfum d'Empire. That is a little bit more easier and nicer, to be honest. Xerjoff Homme is, you know, I could continue to wear this fragrance and pick up on different things because there are a lot of things going on in here. It's described as, you know, the smell of an Aston Martin and the smell of a cigar and that type of kind of gentleman, old world gentlemanly kind of thing, I suppose. It's not for me, but if you are a fan of these types of brash, harsh leathers, smoky, try it. You know, try it if you can. It's always good exploring fragrances, even if you don't intend on buying them. It's always good to see what's out there and challenging yourself. Have you tried these fragrances, guys? What do you think? Do you like them, dislike them? Do you like the sound of them if you haven't tried them? And yeah, always great to hear from you. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.